was horrified to discover that the rocket returning to Earth had already started its launch sequence, and he had no idea. Panicked, he jumped into his lunar rover and raced towards the launch site. Before he could even get close, the majority of the fleet had already taken off. Only one rocket remained, its engines still silent. Desperate, Jack turned and sped towards it. The communication system was disrupted by meteorite debris, so none of his distress calls got through. To make matters worse, his two seatmates had both fallen asleep with stiff necks and failed to notice his absence. In his rush to make it in time, Jack decided to take a shortcut and fly over what he thought was a lunar crater. But as soon as he was airborne, he realized it wasn't a crater at all, it was a massive basin. He and the rover tumbled down, crashing hard. By the time he had clawed his way back to the surface, all he could do was watch helplessly as the last rocket blasted off. As the final rocket disappeared into space, a meteor shower rained down on the lunar surface like a storm of stars. Jack dodged as best he could, but he was struck by debris. He spotted a safer area in the distance and sprinted toward a nearby crater. But in his panic he forgot this was the moon. What was falling wasn't artillery, it was meteorites. His sprint took him straight into the path of one. Jack was knocked out cold and didn't notice the massive meteor that shot right past him, heading straight for Earth. When Jack came to, he looked up just in time to see the meteor slam into Earth. The blue planet was instantly engulfed in flames. His mind couldn't grasp it. They had spent 8 long years on the moon base, working tirelessly to carry out the Moon Shield project, designed to prevent an asteroid from hitting Earth. Everything had gone smoothly. They'd successfully launched the hammer of the universe, breaking up the asteroid, and the debris had been captured by the moon's gravity. Earth was safe. Then, during the evacuation, a small mishap left Jack stranded on the moon. But he wasn't worried. As long as he could contact his team, he could return to Earth at any time. Yet now, Earth was gone, struck by a meteor. Jack immediately activated every communication channel, calling out to Earth non-stop. But after a week with no response, he came to a grim conclusion. The Moon Shield project had failed. Earth had been destroyed, and he was the only survivor. The good news was that the base had enough supplies to last him for the rest of his lonely life on the moon. Now, with no one left to watch him, Jack started to live with reckless abandon. Being the last human in the universe, he had no more inhibitions. He set up a shrine in accordance with Chinese customs to honor the fallen heroes, putting a picture of his secret crush, his boss, right in the center. Then, in a wild act of liberation, he blasted open her office door and set up a candlelit dinner for the two of them. He poured out his heart to her portrait, completely unaware that back on Earth his boss and the rest of his colleagues were very much alive and watching his romantic display from every possible angle.